Okay.
Oh,
All right. And you can hear me okay? Beautiful. And then just a quick check. Can you see my screen with the presentation queued up? Beautiful. Thank you, Dana. All right. So first of all, thank you. Thank you everyone for making time. It's right. It's 7 o'clock out on the West Coast. It's obviously later where some of you all are. My kids are still finishing up bath time and the whole bit, right? So I know we have life going on, but this type of training, I've had the opportunity to be in solar my whole career, going on 19 years. Being able to learn from our peers, learn these best practices, right? Cross-pollinate, really see what's working, and then leverage it to our own success. That's how we all get better, right? This isn't high school. There's no such thing as cheating, right? We can take exactly what we hear somebody else do, put our own special sauce on it, make it our own, and then really find success with it. So again, thank you very much for just being available and having me as a guest speaker. So in terms of today's training, there's really three key things that I want to do. First, I just want to be able to obviously put a face to REC. Some of you have had a chance to see Brian Gilia, my boss. He's presented at the POWUR conference in January. He was at SolarCon. I had a personal obligation, otherwise I would have been there. So part of it is to just give you more of, really help you build a relationship with our company, right? And be able to just understand who we are, what our background is, and why literally we're just thrilled to be, hopefully POWUR's #1 manufacturing partner, right? And we really see just a lot of strength in this partnership for the future. So that's step one, right? Because again, when it comes to sales, we got to believe what we sell, right? We got to truly understand it. And it's that much easier to speak with conviction about a product when we've had a chance to really understand what's the company behind it. So key point number two, I want to make sure that everyone is aware of the different marketing and sales tools that we have available today that will make it easier for you to build that great customer excitement during your sales process. So I actually already put into the chat, I can't see it now, but I put in 2 links for videos. These are some of the best resources. I'm pressing enter now. There they are. Those are 2 separate videos. One is called Manufacturing Excellence. It's a factory tour of REC's factory, so you can get a firsthand look at how solar panels are made. And then the second video is it's like a minute, 52-second review of Alpha. And it just does a fantastic job of really explaining the value proposition behind our technology. So again, it's a great training resource, but even better, it's a great selling resource. It's a wonderful thing to share with customers, to include in emails, to include in a text message, to build excitement. You all should really look forward to the customers that say things like, tell me more about your equipment, right? Or it's really important to me that I get good quality products, right? That's when you smile and say, us too, right? That's why we work with REC. You're going to love learning about this product, right? Because again, in addition to just being a great product, we've done a very good job of helping create good marketing and sales tools. So you don't have to necessarily repeat all the facts that you might know about REC. You can just share some of these resources and your customers can get that firsthand training. And then the third thing that, of course, I want to share as part of today is just more information on our product itself. So you have the tools in your back pocket. So when people ask you questions, you can smile and say, yeah, we've got a really good solution for that, right? And so again, we'll be covering that content as part of today. So on that note, as we talk about solar, as we talk about being at the right place at the right time, there's really never been a better time to be in the solar industry than now. When we think about consumers in general, right, we are dealing with inflation like we've never seen, right? Everybody is paying attention to our budgets. Everybody's costs are going up, right? Be it their electricity bill, be it their gas. Nobody can argue that costs are going down, right? So again, if there's ever a time to look at a solution, it's now. There's a couple slides that I just want to share with you all to get further excited about solar as an industry. This first graph is just talking about how it's illustrating how long different types of technology took to become mainstream. The key thing that I want to share here is, it took us, for example, automobiles, decades to hit that critical mass. Even the internet took close to 20 years to be in homes. We're continuing to see technology progress faster and faster. Solar is not on this graph. What we will see is that it's taken a while to get started, and now it's moving, the adoption is moving lightning fast, which is a great place for us to be in, but still, literally less than 3 out of every 100 households in America have solar panels on them today, right? And so it's like selling, cell phones 15 years ago, right? It was a great time because the majority of people didn't have them, and now everybody's got them, right? And so there's still great money to be had in this industry. The next graph, this is probably one of my favorite things to look at as part of being in solar, right? We are literally making the change from an environmental standpoint. Electric vehicles are now dominating, right? When we look at sales rates, when we look at growth, when we look at customer satisfaction, electric vehicles continue to be the driving force in residential automotive trends, right? All of the major brands are now coming out with them. What this graph is showing is that as we electrify the transportation sector, we're going to see the average residential consumer's use of electricity go up considerably, right? So as all of us, as we think about how much gas we put in our car, right? What is our average electricity bill? If every home in America had 2 electric vehicles instead of 2 gas-powered cars, they would need close to 5 or 6 kW just to support that, right? So again, it's really interesting and exciting when we think about, one, what the demand for our services is, which is only growing, but two, and this is probably the best part, our customers get to now save even more money off their energy bills, right? Both gas and electric. They get to do the right thing for the planet. And most importantly, it gets to be on their terms. They get to take control. And so this is just a really fun place, again, for us to be in the industry. What this also highlights, this graph, is that, again, average Americans, their energy usage is going up. So we need to fit bigger systems on the roof. We need to use more efficient panels, because just installing a 3 kilowatt system is not going to meet most people's needs. And especially as they switch to electric vehicles, again, they're going to need more power. It's more savings for them. It's more money for us. It's better for the planet. It's truly a win-win. But it's just a key thing to be aware of, is that when people are talking to me about solar, the first questions I ask are, have you thought about electric vehicle? Right? And they usually say, yes, I have one, or I plan to get one, or I've got a reservation in on one, or I definitely think I will get one. But all of those reasons really make it easy to help people understand, hey, if you're going to go solar, let's leverage the best technology available, right? Let's maximize your roof space. Let's get you the best system to give you the best savings. And so again, it's a fun place for us to be in this industry. A nice statistic, right? There's going to be 800,000+ electric vehicles in 2022, right? That number is just growing and growing and growing, right? There's going to be over 200,000+ new electric vehicles sold in California. And depending on how much you drive, it can easily be 3 to 5 kilowatts per vehicle, right? If you get an F-150 Lightning, you're definitely going to need a larger system to power that truck. So again, it's a fun place for us to be. And when we think about paybacks for our customers, on average, given the current cost of electricity, and especially here in California, where it's literally over $6 a gallon, it's the best payback they can have. So, going solar to, let's say, reduce your PG&E bill, that's a good payback. Going solar to reduce your PG&E bill and getting an electric vehicle and offsetting that high gas, that's an even better payback. So again, it's just a fun place for us to be in the industry, and it really drives the case for selling a bigger system. And to do that, we usually need a more efficient panel, which is where Alpha comes in really nicely. All right, so that's my pitch on why we should all be excited to be in solar and why we should be paying attention to, in the evening, right? Next, I just want to tell you a little bit more about whom REC is. So we're pleased to be one of the oldest companies in the manufacturing space. We were founded in Norway in 1996. I personally had the opportunity to start working with REC back in the late 2000s. So when REC Group first started bringing solar panels to the US, right around 2007, 2008, I was working for an installation company, and we became one of their first install partners. A little bit of history, Ethan Miller, who is now the Chief Operations Officer of POWUR, was running our engineering and operations team back then. So I've literally known Ethan for probably close to 20 years. There's tremendous partnership between a lot of the leadership at POWUR and our EC group. Paul Wanowski, who's on the board of POWUR, was working with Ethan in a former life, and a long time ago, my old CEO. And so it's really exciting when we look at folks like Ethan and Paul and Rick Joseph and Bear, and others who've again just done a great job of winning in solar. And so now our two companies have some really great history and partnership. While the REC POWUR relationship is only a year old, we've got decades of history between some of the key leadership at POWUR and REC. So when we talk about whom we are, right, what is our DNA? We are a product first company, okay? We are not the fanciest in terms of advertising, right? For a lot of people who aren't looking into solar, they haven't heard of us, right? And we're okay with that. We really optimize around technology. So for us, what we always want to be is investing in building a better module. And for us, we define a better module in two ways. One, a more powerful module, right? So more energy on the same amount of roof space. And two, a more cost-effective module. Both of those are critical to driving the goals that we have, right? Which is, helping consumers literally replace fossil fuels. And so we got to build a better panel and we got to make it cheaper, right? It's interesting. Over the last 10 years, we've really seen the cost on average of solar panels decrease over time. Unfortunately, in the last year and a half, right, with the inflation and the supply chain challenges that are really facing us today, that's actually not going on. The cost of aluminum is going up. The cost of copper is going up. The cost of oil is higher. So when our panels are made at our state-of-the-art factory in Singapore, they've got to get on a freighter, right? It costs more money to bring them over. We are optimistic that is going to improve. One of the key things that we think will help improve that is as we continue to expand our manufacturing, we're also bringing manufacturing back to the United States. We're thrilled to have a great factory in Singapore. Singapore has really allowed us to operate with just cutting edge technology. But make no bones about it, we would much rather any day of the week be able to make those same high quality products here in the US with American jobs, and also frankly be able to do so more cost efficiently. So that is something that we'll likely see some news about that in the next 6 weeks in terms of the location that's going to be announced. Good news, it's obviously in the US. It's I'd say 99% chance it'll be in the Southeast, just because that's where it's certainly the most favorable location to launch manufacturing. For us, it's really exciting for, again, a couple of reasons. One, we're going to be building more panels, right? So we'll have more product available. And that won't be coming online until 2023, probably halfway through the years when we'll really see that factory be at scale. But we're also able to now produce it domestically. And then the third piece is, and this is something that we're eager to see what happens, but we're expecting to see favorable legislation passed by the government to support solar manufacturing. So it's a good financial case today. We hope it'll be even better one. And with that, our goal is to be able to offer a more cost-efficient product than is possible today. So again, great quality product made in the US, hopefully at lower costs in 2023. That's a bit of history on whom REC is. Some of the things we see on the slide, we talk about advancements, right? Again, being a technology first company, we have a lot of patents that we hold. There's a lot of other companies that will look at what we do and imitate it. And that's fine. And that's down to the cross braces that we have on the back of our modules that give us best in class snow and wind loading, to the thinner frame that allows us to put more panels on a pallet, increase our shipping efficiency, but it's also a cleaner, more efficient, a sleeker look on the roof, right? So there's a lot of things that, having been in manufacturing for 25 plus years, we've learned, right? We've learned the hard way in some situations, and we can now leverage that experience to really scale the business. So again, it's a great place for us to be. Given where the market's at today, I wish that factory was going to full, occupy or capacity right now. Unfortunately, building high-tech manufacturing does take time. So It's literally going to take us about 12 months to stand up the process, but we're very excited about that. All right, this is just sharing a little bit more about some of those things that we've done. Again, we continue to win a lot of awards within the solar industry. We, being a native to the European market for so many years, we just have a lot of experience in understanding different types of technology and then commercializing them, bringing them to scale. So the key thing with REC, which gives us an advantage, is our technology platform. The alpha module is built on what's called HJT technology. I'll get to that in a little bit more detail. This is a quick screenshot of our factory in Singapore. This is a great way to just get a sense for the scale of our factory, but the manufacturing excellence video that you all now have a link to, I highly encourage you to watch that. Again, it's very well produced. It's a factory tour, and it gives you a firsthand look at whom REC is. Okay, so what sets us apart, right? What makes Alpha what it is, right? Which is literally one of the best modules on the market. So again, it starts with our technology platform. Our Alpha module is built on HJT technology. That is a heterojunction cell. By definition, it is two types of solar technology. We'll go into this in more detail, but literally, we are using two different types of solar technology stacked on top of each other to capture more of the available light, and that's what gives us our higher efficiency, okay? As part of that technology platform, we also have a industry-leading temperature coefficient. So we're going to dive into the details of solar technology, right? But there's actually an inverse relationship with heat and solar panels. So a solar panel at full sun will produce more energy at 60 degrees than it would at 120 degrees. The reasoning behind it is that because as temperature increases, the resistance on the solar cell also increases, which means it's a less efficient flow of electrons. What we all need to know and take away from this is not every solar panel is created equal. And if we live in a market where we have high heat conditions, we're going to see a panel that produces better in those high heat conditions, that advantage will only grow. So we'll go into that specific benefit in more detail, but it all comes back to our HJT platform. And I'll explain it with the next slide. Another key thing that's very relevant to us is our performance guarantee. So at year 25, our panels are guaranteed to be at 92% of their original output. That is absolutely better than the majority of the majority of the industry, okay? I've got some additional examples of how that compares to other products. But literally, when you design a system with the Alpha 400, it will produce more kilowatt hours over the life of the system than another 400 watt module will, okay? And it's because of that 92% performance guarantee. Next, our super strong frame design. And so again, this is just a great reflection of how we have a better engineered product. It's a little hard to see, but on this picture on the left middle, this is the back of the module. This is two cross braces, and those two cross braces just create a more rigid frame, just like a picture frame that has supports on the back, right? So those back supports, again, enable us to have best-in-class snow and wind loading. So if you're selling systems in Colorado, right, snow and wind loading is really relevant. If you're selling systems in the mountains in California, incredibly relevant, right? If it's Texas or the Southeast, right? Wind loading can be very, very relevant. Now, to give you perspective, there are some parts of Florida, for example, specifically in the Miami-Dade area, where our module is allowed to be installed. Other companies are literally not allowed to have their modules installed because they don't meet the wind loading. So that's just a great illustration of what a better engineered product looks like. And then the last thing is our lead-free construction. This is not going to be a selling point for everybody, but if you have customers that are really environmentally motivated and they share that with you, don't hesitate to let them know. Not all solar panels are made equally, right? There's plenty of manufacturers that just focus on how do they build the most cost-efficient solar panel. We care about that a lot, but given our DNA, right, it's really important to us that we're building a product for the future. We've been able to develop a lead-free construction process, whereas the majority of other solar panels have lead in their modules. That makes this better, makes it better to recycle the panels in the future. It's just a cleaner process for manufacturing. And again, it's really just a testament to, you know, the long-term vision and role we've had in this industry. Any questions there before I go to the next slide? Okay. Either you guys are getting bored or you like what I'm saying. Either way, I'll just keep going. So, all right, this is a fun slide. This is a profile view of our solar cell, okay? So we're truly getting into the weeds here. And most importantly, you know, I'll be sharing a copy of this presentation. You all can share this with your customers if you want, but this is exactly the type of detail that the videos include with somebody narrating over it, right? So again, it's just a great sales tool. The key thing to be aware of is, and I mentioned this at the early on, our solar cells are literally better from a design standpoint than some of the other products out there because we're leveraging two different types of solar technology. The first, and this is what the majority of the industry will have, is a mono wafer. We use an N-type wafer, which is a higher quality wafer. There's also mono P-type wafers, okay? So we use the best mono N-type wafer available, okay? This is what you see also LG, SunPower, everybody's in that premium space is using the mono N-type wafer. We then put an additional type of solar technology called an amorphous silicon above and below it, okay? And so this is the same type of solar cell that you remember from when we had calculators in class, right? 30 years ago, you could, on the little solar cell on your calculator, that was an amorphous thin film silicate, okay? It's the same technology that First Solar uses for their panels. So what we've done is we have two types of solar technology stacked on top of each other, both capturing different parts of the available light spectrum. You know, having been in this industry my whole career now working for a premium manufacturer, people always ask me, what's the best type of solar panel out there? And they always think I'm going to say it's alpha, right? Short answer is it is for terrestrial residential rooftop applications, but the best solar panels being made in the world are going up into space. A good friend of mine works for a company that builds, they're a contractor to NASA, and they build the solar arrays for satellites, right? For private satellites. And they've been doing a lot of fun stuff. They're putting into space what are called quad junction cells. And it's 4 different types of solar cell stacked on top of each other. Those arrays cost not thousands of dollars or even tens of thousands of dollars, right? But hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? They're spending whatever it is, $1,000 per watt for this technology, right? Whereas with us, I mean, it's less than $1. Whenever somebody tries to trick you and say, well, what's the best panel out there? You can say, well, the best panels are the ones going up on the satellites, right? Which nobody could ever afford for their home and nobody pretends to. But the best panel for your roof, right, is going to be an HJT panel, right? Now, we are not the only company that uses an HJT platform. Panasonic is a very well-known name brand. They've got a great product. They also operate on an HJT platform. Panasonic no longer manufactures their own module. They work with a fantastic contract manufacturer for that space. But it's the same type of technology, right? So it's really nice. And so it's exciting to see that literally this is the right platform for the future, right? We already know where folks like NASA are going with solar technology. So we're a couple steps behind them, but we're certainly, you know, cutting edge in terms of the best panel for a terrestrial residential application. Any questions on that? I know it's kind of a lot, but any questions about the technology?
Hey, Gabe, great information. I do see on the brochure, it talks, excuse me, talks about half-cut technology. Can you talk about that just for a second?
Sure. So half-cut cells are something that it's really a reflection of how the industry continues to make step change improvements to drive better overall cost efficiency. So as an industry, what we're able to do is cut the cells in halves, and then eventually we might even be cutting into 3 pieces. But it's allowing us to create a more cost-efficient product. And so we were the first to commercialize the half-cut cells for a mono perk back in 2015. In 2018, we were able to do half-cut technology for the mono N-type, and now we're the first to do half-cut cells with HJT. So again, this is just gets back to our roots as being a leader in the technology space, right? This stuff isn't easy. It takes a while to figure out, and it's something that we've been doing for a long time. And so now we see a lot of other manufacturers out there, but it's certainly something that we've been on the forefront of that. All right, I just wanted to take a second to look at some of the other questions. Okay, Bo, great question. Would you be able to give an example of 92% versus a common other competitor? What does that mean? And it looks like Torin, yeah, great answer, right? So on average, most competitors have a performance guarantee between 85 and 86%. I actually have a slide that shows if you were to design 2 side-by-side systems in solo, what does that 25-year production difference look like? But it's a great question, and it's literally something they'll be able to just illustrate as part of this presentation.
Okay. It's on this presentation?
It is. Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. Continue to bring the great questions. So this, we don't have to spend too much time on this. This is just illustrating the technology advantage with our temperature coefficient. Okay. So REC is on the far right. Panasonic has an identical temperature coefficient to us, right? Again, Panasonic, it's because of the HJT platform. If you can, by all means, reach out to me offline if you want to learn more about Panasonic. Again, great manufacturer, but it's public knowledge. There's actually an article on it. They do not do their manufacturing, and they've chosen, in my opinion, the best manufacturer in the industry to make their panel. I'll leave it at that. Okay, so what this does is this is illustrating the difference in temperature coefficient between some of the other modules that are available on the market. And first of all, there is nothing wrong with any of these competitors. They're all great products. I would be happy to see these panels out there in the market. But if what we're trying to do is to produce the most power, right, with a module, they're not going to produce as much as our panel is. That's all there is to it, right? So again, we've got a technical advantage because of that temperature coefficient. This is not something that I would be telling every single person at the kitchen table, right? I've personally spent many, many years, half of my solar career in residential sales. While I am thrilled to have information like this at my disposal, this is what I'm going to bring out when I've got the really interested customer who's comparing, who's asking me, what's the best panel? I really liked somebody else's panel. This is when I will leverage something like this, right? When people ask me how does solar work, the first thing I say is I look at them, I smile, and I say, it works really well. We can save you a lot of money on your bill, right? And I leave it at that. And for some people, that's all they need to hear, right? And they enjoy watching my video, but the level of detail that we're going over is something that's probably only appropriate for maybe 10 or 20% of most of your conversations. So it's nice to know you have it. It's great to know you've got some great videos that you can share with customers that kind of just tell this stuff. And then if they have questions, you'll be prepared. And then most importantly, if they have questions that you can't answer, you've got me as a backup and me and my team. This slide is just illustrating the same concept, right? That you're going to produce more energy with an alpha pure module if there's higher temperatures because of that improved temperature coefficient, right? So if you live in any area that has high heat, again, this is going to be an advantage over somebody else's product. Another graph showing a lot of the same information, but just illustrating that improved production in the middle of the day. This is just speaking to the environmentally conscious manufacturing. So again, lead-free design, which is fantastic. This is a great slide. This is just talking about our warranty claims rates. So, this is, again, having spent a lot of time in residential sales, I actually didn't talk a lot about things breaking, right? I talk about the grid breaking, I talk about conventional power infrastructure not being the most reliable, right? At least where I live. But I didn't usually like to talk about solar equipment breaking because it wasn't really something I wanted to bring up, right? You can just have a ton of confidence in knowing that REC Group has literally some of the best documented warranty claims rates in the industry. Because of that, we have an industry-leading 25-year Pro Trust warranty. This is something that every system that POWUR installs, and POWUR's installation network, every system that you sell under POWUR is given our 25-year Pro Trust warranty. And what that means is you get I'll skip ahead to it, it's right here. You get a 25-year performance warranty. So I'm referencing this picture on the bottom right, a 25-year product warranty and a 25-year labor reimbursement warranty. So first of all, this is not something that most other companies offer. It's not even something that if you just buy our panel off the street, you get. You only receive this warranty if your system is installed by an approved REC certified installer, right? Which POWUR is part of. You're part of our Pro Trust network. So this is an advantage warranty that you're able to offer to your customers free of charge, no extras, just part of being part of the POWUR team. All right. I wanted to go over these two slides because I think they just do a good job of helping represent where is it relevant to have, when will alpha help you with your sales process? So this slide just illustrates 10% more capacity. Okay, so the key thing that we're showing is because our panels at 400 watts are smaller than other companies' panels at 400 watts, or they're the same size as the other person's 350 watt panel, we can fit with the same number of panels on a roof, we can fit a larger system. So again, what this is showing is that on this roof, with this design, right, with the same number of panels, what we can do is just get that bigger system up there, right? 31 panels on both systems, but one's a 12.4 kilowatt system, one is a 10.85. So this is most relevant when you've got a customer whose bills are high or they want to get as much power as they can, right? You're going to be able to show them more energy on the roof with an Alpha 400 system, okay? This next slide illustrates the difference in lifetime production, a REC Alpha Pure Cell, right? The HJT platform versus a 400 watt mono PERC. Same system size, same production year one. That's relevant, right? It's the same production year one per solo. But if we look at the average degradation rate, the other company's product degrades at 0.56% per year, whereas ours is 0.25%. And the difference is our system is going to produce 25,000 more kilowatt hours over the life of the system, right? Over that 25-year period. So it's just helpful and relevant to know that you're going to get more power on the roof on day one. You're going to have more power on the roof on day 5, more power on the roof, right, at day 10 than the competitor's product, right? And then just a key thing to call out, our panel, because of our partnership with POWUR, because of the volume that POWUR buys from us, right, being one of our best customers in the whole country and quickly becoming our best customer, right, in terms of scale, you all have truly the best in class advantage pricing. So what that means is you can sell a premium product, right, that another company would frankly have to pay a fair amount more for. But again, because you're part of the POWUR team, right, you all have literally some of the best buying power out there. We've got this great relationship with you all. You all are really advantaged on pricing. I want to pause there, look at any questions. Okay. Okay, great. Is the power production monitored by POWUR where the customer will get paid if it's not producing at that full production warranty? A good question, Bo. Short answer is not exactly, right? So our performance guarantee is prorated over the life of the module. What it states is that if the panel isn't producing what it's supposed to, right, then it would be replaced with a module at like value. However, that is not something that necessarily POWUR is actively monitoring or proactively monitoring, right? So if there is an issue with the system, then of course it would trigger a warranty claim. Now, but to my knowledge, it's not something that, unless maybe POWUR is offering a special service, I'm not aware of proactive monitoring from POWUR that would essentially notify the customer if their system wasn't performing correctly. And I would be happy to be corrected on that one if that is something that is available.
So just to clarify, so that means the customer needs to be aware of kind of keeping an eye on it in case there's issues, and then need to go to POWUR for if there's any issues that need to be replaced. Is that
Yeah,
right?
so similar to any other issue with the system, right? I mean, heck, same way with my car, right? I've got a warranty car, but I've got to call them. They don't call me if there's a problem, right?
Sure.
Now, the good news about solar panels, right, is, it's solid state electronics, right? There's no moving parts in our products. And so it's really nice working for a company that it's easier for us to have a product that works really well than, frankly, even the inverter industry, right? Is that it is, there's a lot of moving parts, and there are issues that can happen with inverters sometimes, right? With us, it's just a less complicated product with fewer moving parts, which is nice.
Hey, Gabe, real quick, I'm not sure if you know this, maybe I'm sure you probably do, but Solar Insure is coming out with a monitoring tool for all of POWUR's equipment that is monitoring issues. So to kind of, Bo's point, if the panels are malfunctioning or not, functioning properly, through that new product through Solar Insure, it's going to let us know.
Yeah, that's it. So first of all, thanks for bringing that up. I had a chance to have a call with Dean from Solar Insure a couple months ago. We're really interested in what they're offering, right? And they're interested in our products because for them, right, because we already have such a good warranty and such good low claims rates, as an insurance company, right, we are essentially a better partner for them than, let's say, a company who's not been in business for 25 years, right? I mean, we're one of the few companies that's actually outlived our warranty, right? And unfortunately, we can't say that about every solar company out there, right? There's been enough. I mean, even LG exiting the market, right? LG is a great manufacturer. They had a very high quality product. They made a business decision to exit the solar market, right? So it's a great call out, and I look forward to, as more services like that develop, right? It'll make it that much easier for customers to essentially kind of buy it, set it, and forget it, right? Because they can buy the Solar Insure package, right? Or even better, you can provide them with the Solar Insure package that maybe they didn't know they needed, and now they've got it. They don't have to worry about anything. They've got somebody at a data center someplace monitoring their system, and if there's an issue, they know that they're going to be contacted about it. All right. I'm just watching the clock, so I want to be conscious of time. A couple key things to just share again as part of this. Oops. Here we go. So we've got a great website. If anyone hasn't been to our website, please take a look, right? We've got some really nice brochures that are easy, great things. The links that I put onto the chat, again, check them out. Click on them now just to open them up in your browser, watch it later. It's easily going to be the best 7 minutes you can invest in additional training on our products. And it's a great tool to leverage as part of the sales process. And the last thing that I would just speak to is, continuous innovation, right? So this is a little bit of an eye chart. The key thing to be aware of is this is reflecting how different solar technologies will achieve higher efficiencies over time. We invest a lot in technology improvements. And so we're excited for 2023. We will be releasing a new panel, a bigger, better panel for 2023. That'll be released. The news on that will break in probably about 4 weeks, as we're going to be press releasing that here in the US. We're going to continue to again, make investments in improving our manufacturing, increasing our manufacturing. And, you know, I'll be very sincere, right? We don't make enough panels today to satisfy all of the demand that POWUR has, right? We're thrilled to be a partner of POWUR's, but the opportunity of partnership and the scale that we can collectively drive this is something that literally we're investing in our infrastructure so we can be there to meet your needs for the future. So just in case, you know, we're not available in your market right now, or, you know, maybe there might be some availability things that come up over the next couple of months, just know that we are doubling down on manufacturing capacity. We're thrilled to be a key partner of POWUR's for the future, and we're really excited to just give you all a, you know, a great advantage and a great tool to help your customers. And on that note, that's it. That's what I wanted to share today.
Awesome stuff for sure. I did want to make a quick point. You kind of brought up pricing and us versus others, Gabe. Just to put in perspective, guys. So one of our reps, I'm not going to say who, but he could be a him or a she. They actually worked with another solar company, pretty much helped start the solar company. And they actually just texted me and Bo last week saying that their solar company is getting REC panels for about $0.25 more per watt, because our relationship, because we buy so much in bulk. I don't know what it is, but you guys love us and we love you guys. You know, because other competitors are getting it 20-30% or 20-30 cents more per watt than what we're getting it at. Go ahead, Gabe.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's a combination of factors, right? Is that and the reality is that price advantage is both a function of us, but as well as is your distribution partner, right? Is that, you know, we sell to our distribution partners who then distribute, right? You know, I now work in the manufacturing space, right? This is all I do is spend time in solar distribution, is doing trainings like this, but I spend a lot of time understanding the global supply chain, all these factors. You know, your leadership team has done a fantastic job of positioning you all for success in the industry. This is a very bumpy time. This is going to be very bumpy. We are literally going to see some companies not have access to solar panels, to delaying jobs, going back to customers, telling them that they need to raise prices because their prices have gone up. Okay. The POWUR leadership team is incredibly good. And I don't want to say aggressive. Aggressive is not the right word. Fair, but
passive aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's very professional, right? But your team does a very good job of fighting for the best pricing in the market. Again, very professionally, but you guys, you have the clout, right? You have the partnership ability, and you're not afraid to leverage it to your success. So I think what you see from us in terms of great pricing is very well earned, right? And I think it's both a reflection of us as a manufacturer being able to advantage a company like POWUR, but also distribution as a whole, really recognizing that you're the company to partner with. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is it wasn't given to you, right? You guys have absolutely earned it, demonstrated it. Your team fights for it. All of you from a sales standpoint have earned it, right? And it's very well deserved, but it certainly wasn't given. It was a hard fought and won.
Right. And then another point, and then we can open it up if you have time. We can open it up to whoever may have some additional questions. But Bud actually just announced earlier today. I don't know if you've seen this, Gabe, but we actually secured 9 megawatts of REC 400s. Literally today.
So I personally am pretty in tune with everything going on behind the scenes. Just in fairness to the rest of the industry, I won't really speak too much to kind of what you guys have or haven't done, other than I can say with confidence that, again, you all have done an incredibly good job of asserting yourself in a professional way to really maximize, what you have access to. So don't brag too loud, because there's other folks out there that certainly did not get that type of treatment. And you can be humble about the advantage.
Yeah. So yeah, it should give you guys some confidence. We're killing it right now. And it's everyone recruiting, everyone selling, everyone just continue doing what you're doing. And that's what allows us to make these moves and things like that. Yeah. So good job to everyone on that. That's just a couple points I wanted to make. If you have more time, Gabe, I mean, if anyone else has any additional questions, I see Dana's hands raised.
I wanted to
feel
make
free
a quick
chime
comment
in.
too, and then Dana, you can take the floor real quick. I just wanted to highlight, I think this is a huge thing with the RDC panels on the low degradation and the 25-year production warranty. I think that's huge. You guys could put in your sales presentations to educate the education portion, because obviously you're gonna get a lot of people who are comparing against the other guys. You're gonna get all people comparing quotes. But if you can just hit that nail on the head to begin with, so they don't have to feel like they have to search out there, you can just use that slide, take a screenshot of Gabe's slide of that production warranty and what that savings looks like over the 25 years. And just, hey, look, with these other guys, you're going to be, you're saving $7,500 over the course of those 25 years. I just think that's huge to be able to just take that and use that in your presentation, just so that people don't have to feel like they have to search or go get another quote. Just because they're knowing that they're going to get, the best product, at a good price.
Yeah, well said. All right, Dana first.
Yeah, and just to that point that both just made, also to your efficiencies. I mean, your efficiency in the panel is 26% versus the competitors are at 15 to 18% efficiency. So you all are doing really leading the pack well when it comes to that also. So here's my question to you, and it may not be a fair question, but when you look at the issues that that the solar industry is having right now, with supply, distribution, all those things, are manufacturers, panel manufacturers, looking at some of the issues that we are having with utility companies and how they're changing how customers are going solar? And if so, do they have like a contingency plan in place to help sidestep some of those issues of how customers are going solar, if that question makes sense to you?
Sure. So, look, I'm here in California, right? I'm a PG&E customer. I mean, I feel like you were, speaking to NEM 3.0 and some of those challenges, but I think it's a great indication of what's happened already in some markets and what we can expect in other markets, right? So to not overcomplicate it, right? We are the worst thing that the utility company can think about before they go to bed at night, right? We are taking their customers are thrilled, right? People are not saying, oh, I went solar. It's like, I'm thrilled to go solar and I'm telling everyone about it, right? And everybody should leave their utility company, right? And why rent power when you can own your destiny, right? And all these things. So the key thing utility companies will continue to do is really two key things. Number one, they will reduce the incentives for generation, right? If it's not being consumed. So we saw this happen first in Hawaii, right? Which was really the first state to really essentially be forced to require a battery in order for people to go solar, okay? So with demand charges and other mechanisms, they've really required that batteries are needed, okay? And then the second piece is they've just changed the rate structures. There's dialogue happening in Florida, right? That's going to change net metering, which is sad, but what it's going to do is it's going to make it less cost effective to go solar, okay? So that's the bad news, right? That's what's happening. We as a manufacturer see that all day long, right? The number one barrier to more solar in America is not actually the size or even efficiency of panels, right? It's cost efficiency. Is that if our systems cost $2,000 fully installed, right? Not $25,000, guys, no joke. We wouldn't have to do trainings like this, right? The training would be 5 minutes and everyone would sell out your cruise capacity like that, right? Because it would be such a good return. So what we're very conscious of, and this 2022 is not the year that we're going to see big cost improvements in our industry. But if you pull back and you look at, for example, this first system I ever sold was in 2005, right? It was at $7 a watt. The rebate from California was $4 a watt. That was the rebate, okay? The cost of panels was something like $3.30 for a 120 watt panel. That was the highest efficiency we had. and those costs have really improved, right? So what you can continue to see is a very clear, focused effort to improve cost efficiency, which is going to be enemy number one against fighting the utilities. And it may not be a perfect solution in every utility immediately, but that's going to be how we beat these guys or beat these companies, right? Is that when we can just provide a more cost-effective solution where our customers are like, it's so easy to do the right thing when I'm saving all this money and putting control back into my family. That's probably my best response to that question.
What's the likelihood of batteries becoming essential or, mandated because of the tier structure? Is that possibly coming up?
Very much so. I mean, again, when we look at California, when we look at Hawaii, that's where the industry's already gone, the residential solar market in Hawaii. In California, the rules that are coming out are probably going to drive battery adoption to between 30, 40, maybe even 50% of all homeowners. Our expectation is in the California market, we'll see solar customers doing batteries either in the form of a grid tie battery installed on their home or something like an electric vehicle that they can plug in and that provides that battery charging capacity, which is a pretty cool feature.
Yeah, it is.
F-150 Lightning, and that's something that it makes it even better. I mean, what's better than a customer already having their own battery, right? That's the most expensive part of our systems, right? And so if they're buying that $60,000 truck, PG&E in California is actually doing a pilot with F-150 to have these be plugged in as part of the home. So I definitely think it's where the industry is going. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. And I think in certain states, you're going to see this happen faster because of net metering rules. In other states, we might see, batteries not really be required for years to come. But I think the electric vehicle is going to continue to influence that.
Thank you.
Sure.
I mean, there's smaller utilities right now that it's almost like you have to have batteries in order to go solar because the MID, TID, LID, those utilities come by, and parts of Arizona with where Andy's at as well. It's almost required.
Yeah, that's a great call out. Yeah.
So it's coming, guys.
Speaking of, this is John. There's a guy I've been with Andy and I've been talking with the last couple of weeks. He apparently has some insight. Andy, you remember this? Oh boy, if I could remember his name. Jerry Burns. He's the one that's stuffing his whole entire house full of them. And he actually just said today that he wants them, throw them up in the yard too, put them on 9-foot poles, basically. He's got a 40 kilowatt system he's trying to get in on there because apparently Tucson Electric Power is doing some changes where they absolutely, not only are they net metering in a better payout way, but they have to take anything that he generates. So he's probably going to end up getting maybe like a 60 kilowatt system. When all said and done with all the space he has.
Wow.
And it's coming. Like he cannot wait.
We don't know though. This is just one dude. Right. I need to know where he's getting his sources from.
But what I can say with confidence, right, is that as we look at the electrification of transportation, right, we are continuing to see average system sizes increase. That's fun. That's exciting. I mean, old days of solar, right? I was selling a lot of 2.5 kilowatt systems, right? I mean, they also cost, a lot of money, right? It was 30 grand practically for something like that, or maybe not 30 grand, but it was a lot of money, right? And so it's really exciting to see that. And, having been in the solar industry when it was literally just California for the most part, and then expanding, I lived on the East Coast for a while. I helped open up different states. It's just really exciting to see so many markets represented here. And I got to go tuck my kids in and hopefully say goodnight before they fall asleep. But I really just appreciate everyone taking that time out of your personal evenings to be here to listen to me. Hopefully I was able to add value, and I'll be sending a copy of my presentation to Bo and Anthony, and then you guys can just.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gabe.
Appreciate you guys. Appreciate